recording. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
As always, we are Precarious Pixels. I'm Tim. Across from me,
I'm Bob.
yeah, and we haven't done this in a while, so we're going to be a little bit rusty, but we're definitely going to have a lot to talk about. A lot has happened. There's been like 500 more trailers for more movies coming out in the next couple months than ever.
They did finally put feathers on the Jurassic Park dinosaurs.
Yeah, I saw that. But not all the dinosaurs.
Just the one.
Just the one, because there was only one dinosaur who had feathers.
No,
not
that was
all
all the
of
feathers they could afford.
them. Yes.
They spent all their money on
Chris Pratt's.
horses?
Yeah. I just there's all right. We're really getting off of it. So, so I guess we're talking about Jurassic Park first.
We definitely are. We were just swinging into something else.
Oh man! Wow!
A different universe.
Wow! Several universes. A multiverse, if it were.
Yeah.
Or as it were. Man, I can't talk. So,
then this will turn out great.
Yeah, the last time I think, wow.
Probably Ghostbusters we talked about.
Ghostbusters, and then we saw Spiderman No Way Home, but we have not yet talked about it. So, spoiler alert. I mean, at this point, the movie's coming out digitally in like the end of the month.
They've also advertised things beyond it that
Oh,
would
yes.
spoil it.
Oh, definitely. So, spoilers if you haven't seen it, but I'm betting if you listen to this channel, you've probably seen it like 10 times already. So,
Wow.
I don't know. It was a good movie.
It's a
Very good movie. So,
an exaggerated bet.
Spider-Man No Way Home. Peter, the guy who plays Spider-Man.
Yeah, the actor. Peter.
Tom Holland Spider-Man, we'll call him, is having some troubles because everybody thinks he killed Mysterio, but he actually didn't kill Mysterio. And they also reveal his identity.
Who killed Mysterio? Did he just off himself?
I think he just
don't remember.
I think he offed himself by accident, if I remember correctly.
But he recorded that video. Would
Yeah.
it be accidental? Or
Maybe, I don't know.
I'd have to watch the second of this run again.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the one where Tony Stark left him some glasses, and he had these drones, and then Jake Gyllenhaal was like, "I'm really from another universe," but he wasn't. He was just some
guy.
He was just a bitter Stark employee, and a bunch of other bitter Stark employees pull a hoax on Peter to get the drones for their own means. So basically, at the end of that, we find out J. Jonah Jameson's, who has like a podcast show, or I guess like an internet show, some kind of streaming show, just is like, I got this video. It's guess who Spider-Man is? It's this kid, Peter Parker, and I'm pretty sure he killed Mysterio. And that's where it kind of like left off, and then this picks up right there, and we go through all the stuff. Basically him being arrested, and then talking to the cops, and then it's Aunt being arrested, and then Zendaya being arrested, and then Happy. I think does Happy get arrested? I don't know.
I don't know if they arrest him, but they definitely seize a lot of his assets.
Yeah. And then they lawyer up with a certain daredevil lawyer.
Yep.
Who's very good.
Very good catching bricks.
Catching bricks without even looking. Yeah. But, which I thought was funny that I was like, oh, he shows up here, and Kingpin shows up on Hawkeye.
Yeah. Which means that they're not ignoring either of them, which is good.
Which is good, which might mean they bring Luke Cage in, might mean they bring the Punisher in.
I mean, Punisher would be good.
Yeah.
Do they try? I don't know if they try for Luke Cage and Jessica Jones.
I think they're both off probably doing their own thing.
And Iron Fist. Why bring in Iron Fist when you have Shang-Chi?
Yeah. I mean, you don't really need to.
Yeah. You don't need more than... They could,
well, not even that.
They could bring in Colleen.
I liked her, yeah.
Yeah.
But she's making her Matrix movies.
Is that who that was?
Yeah,
She was the girl in the Matrix.
yeah.
Hey, the Matrix sucked. Anyway,
That,
no, it sucked.
Yeah.
There's no question.
no. It had good moments to it. It wasn't a perfect movie. You can't beat the first Matrix movies. The first one was probably
Sorry?
the first Matrix
There
movie
you
was
go.
the best.
I like that you cut it from plural to
Oh
singular.
no! It was I meant the first Matrix movie, not
Yeah.
not the other two. They were okay, but the first one is definitely the best one.
Okay is a strong word.
Okay, but so Spider-Man, yeah. So Daredevil shows up as Matt Murdock and says, "Hey, I can get you out of this. It's no big deal." Blah 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 blah, and then it just like ruins his life basically.
Yeah,
And
he gets canceled.
he bit that, and also it's just like he's not like he can't get into the school. His friends who are associated with him can't get into like the colleges they want to get into because of him. And then he decides, you know what? I've got a friend who we beat Thanos together. Maybe he'll help me out. So he goes to see Doctor Strange.
Yep.
Yeah. Which they never do explain why there's like a winter storm in the middle of the sanctum.
I don't think it matters.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, that's kind of random. Sure. But then, so Doctor Strange shows up. He's like, sure, I'll help you with this. And then he goes to help Peter with it, and Peter screws up the spell. And then that's where even more trouble happens. They're trying to fix your problems, like taking the easy route. It never works. And this is how all the other villains of the universe start showing up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They bring in. They start out with Doc Ock showing up and trying to kill Peter Parker while he's on a bridge trying to get his friends into the college because
Right.
He thinks the spell doesn't work.
Right.
When Doc Ock realizes it's not the Peter he's after,
That's right. He's like, you're not my Peter Parker.
he almost starts to calm down, but then attacks him again. And once Peter gets that, what's it, like an inhibitor chip?
Well, he uses the his nano suit, to kind of like take control of his arms, basically.
Yeah.
And
But he sort of stabilizes him. He like fixes whatever is causing his.
yeah, but that comes later.
Yeah.
That's after everybody else shows up. So first Doc Ock shows up, then trying to think who shows up next.
I think.
The Lizard? No.
Yeah, the Lizard is definitely. But he doesn't just show up. Like, I think, doesn't Doctor Strange just sort of find him?
Yeah.
And puts him in a cell?
Norman Osborn.
Yeah. But he's also just sort of found.
Right.
But he turns himself in.
Yeah, well, he finds Aunt May's shelter.
Yeah.
And kind of is like, hey, I'm going to smash the dumb helmet that nobody liked in the first movie, and I'm going to go find Aunt May. And he's like, hey, sorry, I didn't mean to do it. I was out of control.
Still wearing his colors.
Yep. Yeah. Because of course. And honestly, they do it later, but he doesn't put the mask on. They just use Willem Dafoe's face because nothing's scarier than that anyways. He has a goblin face. He has the Green Goblin face, and he doesn't need a mask.
Yeah, I'll never understand why they didn't just do that.
I think they wanted to. I think that maybe the studio shut him down on it, because I've seen like tests where they had like he was wearing like a scarier, more closer to what the comics looked like mask. But they just were like, no, we want him to wear this weird robot suit.
Maybe they didn't want to paint him green.
That could be too.
Because he has to look like him but still be green. And
He could have like the eyeglasses like he does, like it fit perfect. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But so they find him. They're all at Happy's place, and Peter decides he's gonna try to fix everybody, because it seems like they always die after their encounter with Spider-Man, which is kind of funny that that's something that's always happened in the movies. except for Tom Holland's movies.
Yeah.
They always like end up killing the villains for some weird reason.
Yeah, he doesn't kill Vulture, but
Yeah, and well,
Mysterio
kills
killed
him.
himself.
Yeah, but technically, all the other people that were working as Mysterio get away. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird that they go for that sort of finality. You think it's because they get sort of big actors? I mean, Dr. Octopus, maybe not at the time, Alfred Molina, because he hadn't really done much
I think
during that time.
he hadn't done a ton of movies. I think he had done. Actually, no, he was in the Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
But that was after. Oh, but I'm saying no. I'm saying you're talking. I'm thinking he was in like 4, but he wasn't. I'm saying like at that point he wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, well, he was in Broadway. Like that was he wasn't doing movies. He was doing like
so
he
it
was
wasn't
he
like
was just doing like acting.
it wasn't like a huge movie to get Alfred Molina.
Right.
Like, Willem Dafoe is a great asset to any movie he's in.
Yes.
The same as I would say at the time, James Franco was probably beneficial.
Yeah.
At the time.
At the time.
But like it's weird that they chose to kill. They probably could have just kept Alfred Molina. Like he probably wouldn't have stopped them from hiring him for Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. No, they could have totally done it. They could have done it. Honestly, that I would rather prefer like he come back and they do like some weird Sinister Six thing or whatever than what we did get. But also the funny thing that what's his name, Hayden Church.
Oh, Thomas Hayden Church.
Thomas Hayden Church came back, which I was just like, that was wild to me because I was just like, wow, he didn't even really have to show up, but he did. And of course, so from the Amazing Spider-Man movies, it's Jamie Foxx and I forget the guy who plays the lizard. What's
Reese
his?
something.
Yeah, I want to say Reese Darby. No.
Reese Davies.
No.
Jonathan Rhys Meyers.
Could be.
He was the werewolf in Harry Potter, right? Wasn't that him?
No.
No? He's a British guy.
He is a British guy.
With blonde hair.
Yeah. It's a perfect explanation
British
of who he
man.
is. But yeah, so
Kirk Connors.
he played the lizard in the first movie. I think who played Dennis Miller? No. Yeah.
Dennis Miller. Dennis Leary was Captain Stacy.
Dennis Leary was Captain Stacy.
Rhys Ifans.
And everybody was thought maybe that they would bring back Emma Stone, maybe, to play Gwen, because they could do a Spider Gwen.
They definitely could.
They definitely could.
I wouldn't be surprised if they still try.
Well, I mean, she's already in because they've already announced the Spider-Verse sequel.
That's right.
Yeah. So that could happen. There could be a live-action Gwen.
He was Luna Lovegood's dad.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's why I thought he was.
He was in the Harry Potter movies. Yeah. Yeah. But so that guy, Luna's dad.
Xenophilius.
Yes.
Which
So
means he likes books.
he does. He runs a paper.
He does.
It's not the Quibbler. I forget the. Well, whatever. That's another discussion altogether. So, anyways, the lizard shows up. They capture them all. Doctor Strange gives Peter Peter just turns his uniform inside out, which is weird looking in general. And then Doctor Strange gives him like a little bracelet that he can zap those guys to like the prison underneath the Sanctum Sanctorum place.
Yeah. And they're just like in their cells being wacky.
Yep. So they're all hanging out, and then Peter decides, hey, we're going to move everybody to Happy's place, and I'm going to try to fix all of you so when you go back to your universes, you don't die. And also, I can cure you of, whatever's going wrong with you kind of thing, which is good.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a good take, like that Peter would try to do something, like try to help these guys out rather than just sending them back to die. So, yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
He probably doesn't want that on his conscience anyway.
Right. And then Doctor Strange is not happy about it, but he's going to go.
You can't interfere. Stuff's going to turn out bad, and then he tries to stop Peter.
Yes.
And Peter's like, "Nah, dog."
Yes. Which I thought was funny when he knocks his spirit out of him, and then his spider sense is still like able to basically keep the box away from him. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah, there's a lot of great segments in this.
Yeah, there are some pretty funny stuff.
But then something happens.
Yes.
Peter comes back from the astral plane.
Yes.
And then he comes back from whatever dimension Doctor Strange tries to put him in.
Right.
Locks Doctor Strange in it.
Yes, which was very funny. The mirror universe, and he's like, "Oh, this is just geometry," and then just figures out a way to just web him up using like the mirror kind of like thing to it, which was pretty funny. And then I'm trying to think what it goes from there. I think he goes back and he's like still trying to cure everybody, and then
meanwhile, Norman Osborn is trying to set up his own thing with Electro.
Yes, and they do basically do that. They're like he's powering him down, and then Peter realizes at the last second that it's always been Green Goblin. He's not gonna just give up on that stuff. And then probably one of the craziest fights in any Spider-Man movie happens between Willem Dafoe and Tom Holland, where he's just like even just like he's just punching him in the face, and he's just making these crazy faces that are just, it's amazing. They did like the best job. I was like, and they're just like they're in the like a high-rise building, and they're just pounding each other between floors and just like falling down and falling down and falling down. Yeah. And
then something bad happens.
And then the Uncle Ben moment happens. Spoilers for all this stuff, but if you're still listening, to Aunt May, which they've never really introduced an Uncle Ben in this universe.
I don't think he has one.
I don't think there is. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think there is an Uncle Ben. Maybe that was the whole thing. Maybe it was just and they actually say the phrase the correct way, which I've not heard. Like, it's like, with great power must also come great responsibility. They always lose out the must. It's like, with great power comes great responsibility. With great power must come great responsibility.
Yep.
And she says it to him, and I was like, oh man, she is dead as a doornail. Because anybody who's ever said that to Peter is dead. So they pretty much, I forget, she gets hit by a glider, or does she get hit by rubble, or?
He hits her with the glider.
Hits her with a glider.
And stabs her with it. Like, he stabs her with the glider.
Right.
And then she stands up and tries to walk out, and she just can't. Yeah.
Which is so sad. It's like the saddest, like, I was like, this is harsher than, like, the other, like, deaths.
Do you know why?
Why?
It's the easiest thing to explain. You got to know this character.
Yeah.
And like this character. In every other one of them, it's just been, here's Uncle Ben, dead.
Yeah. He's usually in the origin. It's like there's a little bit of the introduction in the movie, but this is like the build-up to this, like, and I'm pretty sure it's the same guys who've written all three. Chris McKenna. We were just talking about Community. Chris McKenna is responsible for, if you're a Community fan, like the D&D episode and a lot of the other like crazy good episodes. I think like he wrote on.
The Russo brothers started on Community too.
Right, and I think one of the what was the guy who did the music for Black Panther also started on Community.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And what's his name? Justin. I want to say Justin Lin. No, who does? I think he's Fast and Furious.
Oh.
I think he did like a couple of the paintball episodes.
He might have, but he didn't start there.
No, he didn't start there, but I think he knew the Russo brothers and came in to do like a few episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so yeah, the basically they kill off Aunt May, who is basically the Uncle Ben of this whole thing, and uh,
Meanwhile, MJ and what's the friend's name again?
oh man,
It's not Nelson.
no, not Flash. Flash is Flash is doing his own thing.
Well, MJ and Peter's other friend are trying to continue what he was doing and find these because they don't know
Yeah,
at this point. They're trying to find the other anomalies, like the people from the other multiverse, and they encounter somebody walking past an alleyway.
yeah. Oh, that's right, because Peter steals Doctor Strange's little ring that opens the doorways, and then I guess, oh man, it's gonna kill me what his friend's name is.
I'll try and find out, but he uses that. He learns that he can do that magic.
He can basically like all he has to do is like, oh, it's like I'm trying to find Peter Parker because they want to see their friend, and so he tries to open a doorway, and basically opens it to a different Peter Parker, and it's Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
It's the Amazing Spider-Man, and he comes in, and they have this great exchange. We're like, you know, can you stick to ceilings? Can you go get those cobwebs like in the corner? And I gotta say, Andrew Garfield is probably one of my favorite parts of the of like the basically the third act. But Ned, that was killing me. But yeah, Ned opens like the doorway and he's like, "No, you're not the Peter we need. We need to find our Peter." And of course, he tries the thing again. It's like, I want to find Peter, and of course, it's Tobey Maguire.
Yep.
And just I remember like sitting in the theater and just everybody goes ballistic. I mean, they went ballistic for Andrew Garfield, but like when it was Tobey Maguire, everybody was just like loving it. Just couldn't get enough because he was a good Spider-Man.
He was. I mean,
Andrew Garfield was too. It's just the movies he was in weren't the best, but
he was a product of bad scripts.
yes.
I'd still, to this day, argue that the only reason that guy got the role as the director, because he did both of them, I think, was because his last name was Webb.
Okay.
Both Amazing Spider-Mans, that guy, his last name was Webb, and they're just like, do Spider-Man. And there's so many cool things that could have been great. That first-person shot, where you see it from Spider-Man's
where
eyes.
he swings over the city, yeah, where it's, you kind of get like a parkour moment a little bit too, where he kind of does a little bit more of that kind of like things getting around the city.
Yeah.
I love that first person shot, and I didn't mind that they changed the costume. They changed it immediately back in the second one, but like the first costume the Spider-Man costume he wears wasn't too bad.
No, I didn't have any issues with it.
Yeah, a lot of people had some stuff saying about it, but I was like, no, it's fine.
But a lot of it was just the vision of the film. His parents were like spies. What the heck was that?
That's like a weird thing that's like a part of the Spider-Man mythos, that they were maybe SHIELD agents or something like that. But it made no sense. I was just like, why are you putting this in here? It means nothing.
Well, it could have meant something. That could have been huge if they were connected then.
If they were connected then.
And then you just have this be a way to get Nick Fury in the movies because he's in the second of this run.
Yeah.
But they didn't. Anyway.
They didn't.
So those two are hilarious together.
Right.
And then they bring Tom Holland in, and he's all upset.
Yeah. And they find him. He's on his little rooftop of the school, right?
Yeah, that's his happy place, so to speak.
Yeah. So they go find him. And they have the all Spider-Man meet up, and they do their little lab things, which is kind of like common for like all the Spider-Man stuff. And then they figure out ways to kind of like, try to cure the villains. And then I forget how they get them all to the Statue of Liberty, like
they lure them there somehow. I forget.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like Stark Tech or something.
I forget.
They don't.
Yeah, I
don't remember. Matter.
I don't remember how they get
them. They have a MacGuffin that gets them there.
Yeah, and basically, which they're remodeling the Statue of Liberty with putting a giant Captain America ship, which I was just like, sure, I guess. Why don't they just make a different monument? But okay, you're gonna put a giant cap shield on the Statue of Liberty. That's fine. Um, but okay, yeah. So they go get them to all to the Statue of Liberty. They're they're they do like this nice little talk with each other. Like it's like, hey, your webs. Where's your web shooters? Like, no, it's in my arm. And they're like, wait, where's the kid? Like, how does that work? That would be so handy. It's like all this stuff, and it's just it reminds me of like older brother and younger brother vibes. Like they have a very much like that kind of like discussion. Like they're all kind of like get along together, but they're all kind of like different in their own way, like family in that way that they're like brothers, which is very interesting and just like funny when they like all interact together like that.
They also help each other sort of cope with
Yeah.
Uncle Ben in Tobey Maguire's series death.
Right.
In Andrew Garfield, it's Gwen Stacy's
It's Gwen
death.
Stacy's death.
And here it's Aunt May's.
Right.
Like they help them through that. And I think that's cool that they have that sort of ability to sort of work together emotionally.
Right.
Because they, he doesn't really. Andrew Garfield
Mhm.
doesn't really have anybody for that. He has Sally Field, Aunt May,
Yeah.
but that's it.
Right.
And I don't. Does she even know that he's Spider-Man? I don't even
I don't
remember
think
if she
so.
knows. Yeah,
I don't think she knew.
He has nothing.
Yeah. So he has nothing.
He really does, and that's
Yeah.
why they say something about him. Like he stopped pulling his punches.
Yeah, and he's like, I got kind of dark, and I was like, yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Like all that stuff made sense. I was like, they kind of took the aspects that I guess were brought forth in their own individual movies and kind of put it into this as that's their character influences. It very much felt like each Peter was representative of the movies he came from. So like it was like I think it was good that way, and you get kind of like a catch up with I guess I almost thought maybe Kirsten Dunst was going to show up, but like that Tobey Maguire says, oh me and MJ we eventually got together and we worked things out, but it was hard and then like the whole stuff with Andrew Garfield and he's like I don't have an MJ and he's like well maybe it's out there for you. Yeah, no, I thought that was great, and then of course. We get the Sinister Six fight that we always thought was going to happen.
But five.
Well, he's there, but he's just not where they are. Yeah.
Yeah, but he'll never be where they are because I don't think
That's
they'll
true.
get that cast together again. You can't do that twice.
No, they probably not.
They show another member
Yes.
in silhouette later.
Yes. Wait, who? Oh.
They show Rhino.
Well, they show Kraven, too.
Yeah.
So that's like the whole universe breaking down thing. But, so they're trying to get everybody, like, to cure them and also send them home. And it just, like, escalates. They're fighting. The Peters aren't getting along correctly. They're not working it out. And then there's, like, that whole great scene where it's like, I was in the Avengers. It's like, oh, what are the Avengers? I was like, were you in a band? like, he's like, no, we like a team. It's like we gotta work as a team, and then they kind of like get their stuff together, and like they were able to like kind of fight them and cure all the guys. I think except for, no, I guess everybody. Even like at the end, Willem Dafoe. Did they? No, they don't cure him though, do they?
No, I think they
Just beat the crap out of him.
Well, no, they get him with the needle, don't they?
They do, but I don't think it works. Like it doesn't cure him.
Okay, maybe not. And
then there's a whole part where, like Tom Holland is fighting Willem Dafoe, and he's just like he basically picks up the glider, and you think it's gonna happen again, where he's just gonna like kill him, and Toby stops him.
Yeah.
Which I thought was crazy, and then they stab him. I thought for like a second, it's like, are they gonna kill Tobey Maguire in this movie? Because that is a terrible idea. But it's just he just like no, it's okay. I've been stabbed before.
They do that. They give him his moment where he sort of stops the death of Green Goblin.
Stops the death of Green Goblin.
They give Andrew Garfield the life-saving catch.
Yeah, he does the same thing, but he actually catches her MJ the way he wanted to catch Gwen, and then he tears up, and it's just like, he gets to work through that moment. But yeah, no, overall, and then the whole end of the movie is Doctor Strange. The spell is now really breaking down, and the only way to stop it is this was heartbreaking, but the only way to stop it is for everyone to forget who Peter Parker is completely.
Yeah.
At which I'm just like, that is insane. Like, nobody will know who he is. Absolutely nobody. Not his friends, his schoolmates. Like, nobody will ever have known who Peter Parker is. Anybody that knew he was Spider-Man will not know. And it's a great place to leave him off, but it's so like, well, now I'm hoping, I don't know if they did sign a deal, but they're going to do more movies.
I'm sure they'll do more.
Yeah, I know that him and Zendaya have bought a place together, so maybe they have their own.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not going to give her character. They'll find a way to make
Yeah.
that start over or something.
Which I don't know. She's doing like a billion movies, and she does her show Euphoria and stuff, and everything else. But yeah, I don't know.
But that movie was great.
That movie was great. They ended like he puts on the classic suit. He sews it together, gets his like little dinky apartment in New York, and he's just like swinging out over the city.
Yep. That's the end for him.
That's the end for him. And then at the very end, you see Tom Hardy getting drunk at a bar.
You do. Did you ever see the second Venom?
No.
So this is wild,
Right.
but the second Venom
Right.
has him phase into that same hotel
Oh yes.
at the end of the movie. He like blinks in
Right.
from the multiverse thing.
Right.
And they never really explain it.
Right.
And then now he's gone. Like he, I guess, blinks back to his own reality, which then proves that Tom Hardy will never fight Tom Holland.
Right. Because they're not from the same universe.
It's instead going to be a different Venom because when he blinks back, the symbiote is left behind.
Right.
And there's no. So I guess he's not in. Tom Hardy's just out now.
I guess. Unless or he's just going to make Venom movies if they do another one.
Or if that's just part of the symbiote, because that was very small.
Yeah, but I think it's like all you need is like a little part to kind of do it.
So maybe he's still Venom.
Maybe.
Because I was thinking, like, did they just get rid of Venom? But
I think it's. I think that's the way they're maybe going to introduce Venom into the Spider-Man universe. If they
a different Venom.
Like a different Venom, it'll be a different Eddie Brock and some. But then also, the weird thing is, there's a point where I think, and I just read this, but in the second Venom movie, it's like all the Venoms are connected, like all the symbiotes are connected across the multiverse. So they know about Spider-Man, and they all hate him. But it's not necessarily that there'll be a Spider-Man in every universe, kind of thing.
Well, this one hates him no matter what, because the only knowledge he has of Spider-Man is that he killed the hero of the planet.
Right. Yeah.
But that's if he doesn't forget that.
Right.
Who knows?
Who knows? I don't know. Whatever they're going to do with Venom going forward, we'll see.
So we have that.
Yeah. And then, of course, this introduces, like, at the very end, they have the trailer for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
The old trailer.
The old trailer.
One.
The new one may introduce the Illuminati with Professor Xavier.
Professor Xavier, and we can all pray Sylvester Stallone's character from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, he's just going to be in Guardians 3.
Yeah, but what if he was part of the smartest people? You'd never expect it.
Never expect it. I would, like, there's been a lot of speculations about there's 6 chairs, which I think is the 6 Illuminati. Because the Illuminati is all the smartest, most powerful people from the Marvel Universe. It's been different people at different times, but initially I think it was Professor Xavier, Doctor Strange, Tony Stark, Black Panther, and I think Black Bolt. I think that's all of them. and at other times, Namor was on it, and also I think Beast took over for Professor Xavier. But that's like the Illuminati are like the weird part of, and Reed Richards.
I
Mr.
think it's going to
Fantastic.
be Professor X, Reed Richards, at the evil Doctor Strange. I think they're going to go for that being run by the bad Doctor Strange.
It could be, or some people are saying even a different version of Doctor Strange. Like there could be like several. There could be the what they call Strange Supreme from the What If series.
Well, that looked like who was in the trailer.
That's like they showed kind of like a guy who kind of seems like that, but it also could be there could be another version of Doctor Strange.
How crazy would it be if he got rid of the bottom half of his goatee and he just had evil mustache?
He could have an evil mustache or full on beardy.
There you go.
Yeah. But there's been a lot of speculation of like the different versions. There's even people are saying there's the Defenders version of Doctor Strange, which was a superhero group he was in, which was the Hulk, Silver Surfer, and Namor, and him. And like I forget, there was like a few other characters in there too, but like they were like the main part of it.
The Defenders was Iron Fist,
No,
Luke Cage,
not my Defenders.
Jessica Jones, and Daredevil.
Oof.
And for some reason, what's her name? Rosario Dawson.
Oh, the Night Nurse.
Yeah, she was just there.
Because she connected all of them. Because she knew all of them. But yeah, so that who knows what's going to go on. It looks like there's like Ultrons there. I'm betting Kang's going to show up at some point.
Well, he could be one of the.
He could be
counselors
Loki.
as well,
It
or whatever.
could be Loki too. It could be, who knows, Sylvie. Any of those guys could show up.
Or gals.
Or gals. And definitely, what's his friend, the guy, the wizard who turned evil or whatever.
Oh, that's Mordo. Baron Mordo.
Baron Mordo.
No, it looks like. But...
Yeah. And there's apparently cowmen, minotaurs or something.
Yeah, there's something.
Yeah. Which could be, like, that could just be like another thing, like, oh, I'm from a different mystical realm or something like that. Like Shang-Chi.
I'm
They
just
had
taking a mini tour.
mini tour. It's good. But yeah, there could be like a Shang-Chi show where it's like there's
It
giant
almost
lion
looked like
monsters.
The Shang-Chi temple.
Yeah, but I think that's actually the Doctor Strange from the first movie,
Yeah.
that temple that he trains at. But still, who knows? They could be doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But America Chavez is in this, who is she actually is somebody who I think she could just punch through the multiverse.
That's what she does.
Yeah.
Punches. Multiverse.
Yeah, with she makes like giant like star shaped like portals and stuff like that. So who knows? There's
We'll
a
see.
giant tentacle monster with one eye. Kind of looks like the thing from Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, it's Sharagorath.
It could be him, or it could be something else. I mean, there's a lot of weird tentacle monsters.
I knew that name.
I know.
Strictly because of Marvel vs. Capcom.
Love that game. They should be doing like 100 of those games. Could be that. Could be a bunch of other stuff. Who knows? But yeah, definitely looks interesting. I can't wait to see it. So
We'll skip that one for now because that might be longer. But I have because we want to talk about probably a shorter thing
okay,
because of our,
Yeah.
I watched another thing that I think Tim's going to be interested in
okay.
called Murderville.
Murderville. Yes, you've been talking about Murderville.
But I haven't described what it is.
Okay.
All right, so this show, it's on Netflix.
Right.
The main character, I think his name's like either Johnny or Jimmy Seattle. That is
Okay.
his last name.
Okay.
He's a veteran homicide detective
Oh, all right.
for the city police. They don't give the city they're in a name. It's just the city police.
Okay.
The show, the concept is this.
Mhm.
Every episode, he's teamed up with a different partner.
Okay.
It's their first day on the job.
Okay.
They have to solve the crime of that week
Mhm.
or that episode. They are not given a script.
Really?
Correct. The partner is not given a script at all. It's complete improv.
Interesting. That's really interesting.
The first episode is Conan O'Brien is the partner playing. His role is Conan O'Brien.
Oh, he's just playing.
You're just you, and you have to go solve this crime. And then at the end, they tell you if you choose one of the three suspects, the actor chooses, or the celebrity, I guess we'll call it,
Right.
chooses one of three suspects. If they're right, they win. If not, they lose.
Oh, okay.
And then they give you the reason. Like you have to give the reason you chose that suspect.
All
and
right.
they tell you no and why, or yes and why. This person was the killer.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy.
It sounds fun.
It's hilarious
I imagine.
because there's like the start of it where they set up the case, but they give you all the facts you need when they go to like the where the first body's found,
Okay.
the crime scene, and then they do that, and then they interview the suspects, just like you normally would. It's very like the actors that are there that are the suspects also have to be improving somewhat,
Okay.
but they have to get the clues out there somehow.
Right.
So and then they also each one they have a part where they go undercover.
Okay.
So Conan O'Brien goes undercover with Will Arnett telling him what to say in an earpiece.
Okay.
It is amazing. To the point where like he's interrogating these people that are mad, like these mothers that are mad about something to do with their kids being exposed to something.
Okay.
And they end up attacking him, and he locks himself in a bathroom. And it's just Conan O'Brien, who's like 18 feet tall.
Right.
And these shorter, like, mother-aged women
Right.
attacking him. Hilarious.
That sounds amazing.
Kumail Nanjiani's on it. Ken Jeong. Marshawn Lynch is in episode 2.
Which, that when you told me that, like, you were just naming, like, the actors who are in it, I was just like, what? Why does this show that the just random, like, celebrities in it?
It's so funny.
It sounds good. It sounds really good.
I think a lot of them might be, like, Second City comedy guys.
Well, I imagine a lot of those guys are, like, improv guys. I'm sure Conan, like, is known for that.
Yeah, but I mean, Sharon Stone.
Sure, why not?
She looks very nonplussed to be there, but what she's into it. Like, she does the stuff. Hilarious. They have her and him pretending to be surgeons.
Okay.
They're trying to interrogate an anesthesiologist.
All right.
And there's a point where Will Arnett just starts cutting the body on the table in front of them, and there's just like blood flying everywhere. It's so hilarious. He's like, wait, hold that, put your finger there. It's great.
Well, how does that part become improv, though?
Well, they had that set up. Like,
right.
Will Arnett
okay.
is running that area.
Okay.
But meanwhile, like, she's supposed to be interrogating the anesthesiologist.
Gotcha.
Before and during this happening.
Gotcha. All right. So it's more like he's kind of like their guide to whatever's going on, but whatever their reactions is like their honest reactions in the moment.
Yeah, well, it's them in the role of cop.
That sounds awesome.
It's great.
No, and that's on Netflix.
Yeah.
All right.
It's 6 episodes. I strongly advise you watch it. He plays a guy his partner had been murdered, I think it's 10 years ago.
Okay.
And he has not changed her part of the office at all.
Okay.
So it's just, she had a pet rabbit. It's the skeleton of the rabbit covered in cobwebs. Like, he hasn't touched it. There's food on the desk. It's just covered in mold.
That sounds really good. No, that's good. No, that's really good.
Yes. If you haven't watched it yet, watch it. Murderville might be my favorite concept for a show this year. Unlike other shows that I saw previews for.
Oh, yeah?
The Super Bowl.
What show?
Why is there a dark take on The Fresh Prince?
I don't know, because Paramount what is it on Paramount, right? I think it's Paramount Network.
Peacock?
Oh, it's Peacock?
Yeah, it's an NBC thing.
Okay, because Peacock needs shows for their streaming, apparently.
Will Smith's producing
They need
it.
some fresh shows.
It's not. It's not a
Fresh
sitcom.
Prince.
Why is the Fresh Prince of Bel Air not a sitcom?
I have no idea why.
Why is it not called The Fresh Prince? Why is it called Bel Air?
Because you go home to Bel Air.
Yo Holmes.
To Bel Air. He was just shooting some b-ball.
There was a gun getting thrown around. Uncle Phil doesn't look like Uncle Phil. He doesn't look jovial at all.
Yeah. I don't know. I had heard that they were going to do like a serious version of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I don't know. I'll give it a chance, but I think it's probably more for a younger audience.
Do you think?
That they're counting on two things. One, it's the people who have grown up watching the Fresh Prince of Bel Air that now have kids and are probably not going to watch a sitcom the way that their parents did, but they'll watch a more serious take on like something that, it was like, oh, when I was, kid, I watched this, show, blah, blah, blah. So they'll get that audience and the younger audience, if it's good.
It doesn't look very good.
I don't know.
Then I saw during the Super Bowl 2 commercials that completely relied on old properties, and I don't know how they got away with one of them.
Right.
One of them is just Dr. Evil.
Right.
Frau whatever.
Right.
Scott Evil.
Right.
And Scott now has a kid.
Sure.
And Rob Lowe was there.
Well, he was in
number 2. Yeah, but they just got them all to do a commercial for some other random nonsense. They can't make an Austin Powers movie?
No.
I'd rather watch that. So that commercial happened, and then right after that, I think, in order, or like 2 commercials later, was
Sopranos?
Scrubs.
Oh, Scrubs.
Zach Braff and Turk.
Okay.
Was it Donald? Is it Faison?
I think so.
Last name? I was confusing because there's another Faison that was on The Wire.
Well, they do, I think a podcast together where they rewatch Scrubs.
Yeah, but their commercial was like for credit card or something.
Yeah.
It's nonsense.
Well, what was the Sopranos one for?
The Sopranos one was for a car.
Right.
That they didn't drive on The Sopranos.
Yeah. Which I'm just...
He drove a Lincoln.
Yeah. It's... No idea why that they do this now more than ever, but like using... I don't know.
I think he drove a Cadillac Escalade and then a Lincoln Navigator.
Okay, could be. I don't remember the vehicles.
So frustrating.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of remember it because HBO doesn't have commercials. They do product placement in the show. So it's like they highlight the car.
Right.
Maybe at the beginning. I mean, I don't remember what he...
It's like, I think all the Marvel movies... What is the Acuras? Or something like that? Yeah.
Tony Stark drives an Audi, I think.
Yeah, an Audi.
So weird. But yeah, that was strange. Anyway, Murderville's good.
So you would recommend Murderville?
I would recommend that way more than I'd probably recommend Fresh Prince. But I'll watch whatever.
No, it's called Bel Air.
I don't want to subscribe to something to watch that. They could have done anything.
I know.
Hey, how about you just make a good show? Like they could have rewritten the Fresh Prince, recast him.
Yeah.
And it probably would have worked better than whatever this is. It doesn't need to be an edgy Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
No. I withhold judgment until I've actually seen it.
Great.
Sure. It's not going to be better than, honestly, like, Euphoria. If you haven't seen Euphoria, there's no high school drama that is crazier and more intense and more visually interesting with so many weaving stories than Euphoria. It is insane how good it is, and also how well it's shot, how well it's acted. Probably after this season, I can't imagine Zendaya doesn't get another Emmy. I don't know if she got an Emmy for any of the other seasons, but there's an episode in this where she plays like an addict.
I know she's an addict. Yeah.
Where it is so intense and so crazy, and she goes through so many different moods at one point. I don't know, like she's screaming at her family, she's kicking down doors, she's just running through the streets, through traffic. It is so crazy and so intense and unbelievably good. And parts are funny. It's the weirdest show. It can go from the most intense, like you don't know if somebody's about to get shot or stabbed or something, to something that is so funny, like just somebody just puking on themselves. It's just like it has that kind of like weird thing where it dances between some like really some funny stuff to the most crazy intense family drama and just insanity. It's so good. You've probably not seen the Euphoria yet?
I've not.
It's good. It's very good and very well made.
I'll check it out. I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah.
I follow, I guess it's like a Facebook group of, like it used to be about, well, the one I used to follow, I'm no longer in that group for a reason.
Okay. Okay.
About A24 films.
Oh.
Because it's a lot of stuff about films.
Okay. And A24 does, I think they do Euphoria, right?
I don't know if they do it, but...
I've seen their logo at the end.
Okay, so maybe they do, but the group is called Not A24 But, and it just talks about, like, different, whether it's, like, fringe, like, interesting films just visually, or whether it's, like, plot-wise, it's just crazy, whatever.
Right.
Constantly about Euphoria.
Yeah.
But not allowed in the A24 one anymore.
Okay.
One joke.
Was it about the sheep kid?
It was not.
Ah.
It was not about Lamb, which I still haven't seen.
I haven't seen it yet either, but I'm going to watch that movie because it looks disturbing. They have a couple other ones that are coming out that I kind of want to see too.
This guy wanted to watch a dark comedy, and I recommended one.
Mm-hmm.
But it turns out that movie might not be very funny.
I see.
And
what,
I
immediately see what happened. You were like, "Oh, watch this! It'll be really good."
You know, it wasn't a very funny movie in defense of me getting banned. But just know that the way
would you recommend like Sophie's Choice or?
It was about on par with that, but I think I got banned because of. No, I don't think it matters. I recommended Schindler's List.
Good movie.
As a comedy.
Oh man! Basically just to mess with this person. Did they not know?
It wasn't even the person that got mad at it. Like another guy immediately got mad at it, and then that's how I got banned.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Okay.
It wasn't coming from a place of like hatred or anything.
Oh no!
It was just Schindler's List. That's not like the movie I think of when I think least funny, most horrifying is Schindler's List.
It was a great movie.
It is, and you can't come out of that movie in a good mood. Like
No.
you're just gonna have a bad day.
Yeah.
And you know, this guy might have had a bad day because I even mentioned it.
Yeah, makes sense. Right. Right. But we need to. On that note, we need to wrap things up.
Yep.
So recommending Murderville.
Yes.
Recommend Spider-Man No Way Home. We'll yet to see what Doctor Strange is going to be. You've been playing Dying Light 2.
I have.
We will get into a bigger discussion about that later. Hopefully next week we can start meeting again. Just things have been crazy schedule-wise. But as always, rate us, review us. We're on Spreaker, Stitcher, iTunes. You can catch us on the YouTubes. And as always, go out there, design some fun stuff. You know, we always try to, recommend that more than anything else. And you can find me on the Instagrams at Tim Martinek. You can find Bob at...
I'm on Instagram at BobJMartin, MARTON, and I'm on Twitter at Martin_Bob.
All right, and we'll catch you next week, guys. So see you later. Bye.
See you later.
Wait.